Hi, welcome to today's video. My name's Isabella and I haven't filmed a video in a long time, so this feels really weird. Today we're doing the end of year book tag. This tag was started by Ariel Bissett. I will leave the original or the most recent one below, but let's just get started. So, first question is, are there any books you started this year that you still have to finish? The answer is yes. The answer is yes, so many. I have a whole pile of books that I've started. Some of them I have nearly finished, some of them I've read a few pages of, that I just stopped reading. Not because they weren't good, not because I wasn't enjoying them, but because reading has been so hard this year. So let me show you what we're working with. So this is most of the stack. First we have You Will Get Through This Night by Daniel Howell, Ninth House by Leigh Bardugo, An Absolutely Remarkable Thing by Hank Green, River Monsters by Jeremy Wade, and The Little Prince by someone whose name I cannot pronounce. This is not actually all of them, because of course it's not. I am also trying to read Six of Crows, but let's focus on these for now. I'm about halfway through The Little Prince and it's really good, but I have this thing where if I start reading a book with a certain vibe, I have to continue reading it with that same vibe so that I have like a complete reading experience. And for The Little Prince, I started reading it like on a rainy day. It was cold, I was snuggled up in a blanket on my armchair. Don't look at all the stuff sitting on there. And like it was raining, it was like cloudy, it was great. But spring is here and we don't have many of those days at the moment. So yeah, I'm sure I will finish this by the end of the year because it's super short. And look at that, be proud of me. I'm using a real bookmark for once. That never happens, but moving on. River Monsters is one that I was really excited to get because I love the show. Don't ask. As you can see, I am not using a bookmark. This is a tissue. And I'm only on the second chapter, but hopefully I'll get there. I honestly don't know if I have actually started this book. I don't remember it. Oh, there you go. I'm 3 pages in. Again, using a bookmark, one that I made. It is maybe the worst bookmark, but it works. I like that I'm sitting here analysing my bookmark choices. Then we've got The Ninth House, or just Ninth House, I suppose. I am not far into this. I started this one not too long ago. I'm on page 13. Wow, I thought I was a little further than that. And then we have You Will Get Through This Night. I don't know if I actually started this or just read like the kind of preface. This is one that I want to get through though. The next question is, do you have an autumnal book to transition you to autumn? I do, but also I live in Australia and it's spring here. So for an autumnal book, we've got The Ninth House. I need to stop calling it The Ninth House. It is just Ninth House. Anyway, we've got Ninth House and The Binding. I want to read this book so bad. I'm hoping to get through both of them relatively soon, but I honestly don't have any expectations for myself. But because it is spring, I wanted to include a kind of more springtime book. And that is The Bookish and the Beast, I think it's called. Let me grab it off the shelf. Here we go. The Bookish and the Beast by Ashley Costin. I don't actually know if this is spring-ish at all, but I mean, it's probably a romancy kind of thing and I like romance. And to me, that's very spring. So, the next question is there a new release that you're still waiting on? And I honestly couldn't think of anything for this. I'm so out of touch with the bookish world and what's been released or what's still to be released. I have no idea. But then I remembered that The Nobleman's Guide to Shipwrecks and Scandal and Shipwrecks. Oh my god. The Nobleman's Guide to Scandal and Shipwrecks is coming out at the end of the year at some point. I think maybe in November. I know a lot of people have opinions about Mackenzie Lee and her works. I personally really enjoyed the books. I don't know much about anything going on there, but I'm really looking forward to this book. The next question is, what are 3 books that you want to get through by the end of the year? And again, just repeating myself over and over again. We have The Little Prince. I feel like I should have finished this by now. I mean, it's so short. And I'm really enjoying it, so I'm sure that this will be finished by the end of the year. Another book I really want to finish by the end of the year is You'll Get Through This Night. I have a weird relationship with like self-help type of books, but I've been following Daniel Howell for so long, and I really want to read something that he put so much work into. Also, I feel like I could use the advice. And I have plans to, once I've read this, I'd like to make a video using some of the advice in this book, and seeing how it affects my life and what works for me. So yeah, no promises, but maybe that'll come one day. Another book I really want to finish is An Absolutely Remarkable Thing by Hank Green, because I love Hank Green. But Hank Green is one of those like public figures that feels so real. And I mean, like, I love science and stuff. Like, I don't do anything vaguely related to science, but I love it. I'm always watching like documentaries and all that kind of stuff, and Hank Green is just a cool dude, and I want to read his book. And the like 3 pages of it I have read, I really enjoyed. So the question asked for 3, but I'm giving you one more. The last book that I really want to do the last book that I'd love to get through this year is Six of Crows. This is not Six of Crows, but like you get the picture. I'm ashamed that I haven't read Six of Crows yet. I love the characters in it. I haven't read it yet though. And I know I'm gonna enjoy it. Like, I know it's the kind of book I'm going to enjoy, but I just have not had the motivation to read, like, at all. So yeah, the book's upstairs, so if I'm like in bed early and I feel like reading, I can read. I just haven't done that yet. So here's hoping in the next, 3 months, I can read it. The next question is there a book that you think could shock you and become your favorite of the year? And I don't know how to answer this question. I couldn't even tell you what my favorite book that I've read this year is. I've been so distanced from reading and like the book world as a whole that I can't remember anything I've read this year. To be completely honest, I don't even remember the last book that I finished. I'm so out of touch with reading and like my life as a reader, but I'm trying to change that. The last question of the tag is, have you made any reading plans for next year? And the answer is, kind of. The only book that I'm like certain I will read next year, unless obviously it's not released, is Chain of Thorns by Cassandra Clare. I'm so ready to know what happens after Chain of Iron. Oh my god. Again, I know a lot of people have their opinions about Cassandra Clare, but I really enjoy her work. So I'm gonna enjoy it and not let anyone shame me for that. I really want more of a reading routine, but those things take time and effort that I just have not had in my life recently. Life has been strange lately, and I just can't commit to any kind of routine in terms of reading. For a bit of context, I quit my job and I'm starting my own business. Today's like a fairly big day for me with my business. A lot's happening. I live in Victoria, where we have had quite, what's the word? Strict lockdowns, maybe? And that has really had an impact on my mental health. Like, I agree with lockdowns, but they still affect me like anyone. To say my mental health has been temperamental is an understatement. I have high highs and low lows, which mean I don't really have any motivation to like focus on reading. Like, I cannot remember the last time I read a book like with my eyes. I basically only listen to audiobooks now. To be completely honest, I think the last book that I physically read was Instant Karma by Marissa Meyer. It's there. And that was at like the very start of the year. Like I bought that book at the very start of the year or at the very end of last year. I can't remember. The only time I even listen to audiobooks though is when I'm trying to fall asleep. And because of that, I don't want to have to focus too hard. And so I'm only rereading books. So at the moment, for example, I'm listening to Queen of Air and Darkness, which is so long. Because like I've read it before, I don't need to focus on the story, but it's still like entertaining. I'm hoping to change all of that within the next year. I think I will be able to get a bit more stability in my life. I think things are starting to change. So I'm really excited to see what the next year brings. With that said, that is the end of the tag, but I did want to include another question. And that is, what is your reading goal? Are you on track? And what are you going to do to reach your goal? So my reading goal was 50 books. I thought that was like easy, like 100%. I do that all the time. Easy done. 50 books, that's less than one a week. I didn't anticipate the year we've had, to be honest. I have read 32 books. Most of them were read at the start of the year, to be honest. I'm 3 books behind, but I think I can catch up. Reading hasn't been a priority in my life, but I want to make it a priority in my life. And so like being 3 books behind isn't too much of a stress. I think I can reach it. And to be honest, if the end of the year is in sight and I am behind quite a bit, I do kind of cheat a little bit by reading really short books and graphic novels. My go-to is usually Heartstopper by Alice Oseman because of course it is. I love those books so much. My other go-to is to reread Red, White and Royal Blue, which I have read over 40 times and I'm starting to memorize, which is maybe a problem, but I just really enjoy that book. Oh my god. But yeah, I think I can reach my goal if I make reading more of a priority, if I maybe include it into more of a night routine. I think I can do this. I'm excited to make reading more of a part of my life because I miss it. I miss stories. And as someone who wants to write, I've had no motivation to write and no inspiration to create anything because I haven't been experiencing stories. I haven't been watching anything new either. So with the end of year coming, my goals are to have more of a routine, to read more, to pull myself together. But that's all I have for you today. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, you can give it a thumbs up. If you didn't, I'm sorry. Comment down below and tell me what book you want to finish by the end of the year. My social media links are all below. Again, you can like this video, subscribe, and I will see you next time. Bye. Listen, this is whose book I want to read.
Where's my berries and cream?
I've been a very brave
Little lad.
Where's
I did just realize my neighbors can see me. I am right beside a window. I do look crazy. They can't see the camera, so it looks like I'm just like gesturing wildly to myself. It is an absolutely blah blah blah.